In the last video, we have completed the register function, and what we added is the ability to encrypt the password before storing them into the database. So now we're gonna finish up the login function, and the authentication part of the forum will be completed. So the first thing we'll do is to also check if the username and password supplied is valid. So we're gonna copy from, we're also gonna check if the username and password is not blank. So we're gonna copy this from the register page and paste it into a login page. And if the username and password is not blank and it does not have invalid characters, then we should allow the user to log in. So to log in, because our password is being encrypted, we'll have to encrypt the login password again to check against the database to see if the password supplied matches the one in the database. So now to log in, we will use a prepared statement to log in also to prevent SQL injection. So we're gonna first select the password from the users table, and we're gonna select only one, and we're gonna create a prepared statement using the MySQL. So what the parameter we're gonna bind to this question mark is the username the user has supplied, to check if this username exists in the database, and if it exists, we will return the password to check if the password that the user supplied matches the password that is in the database. Then if it matches, that means the user has successfully logged in. So we're gonna bind parameters to the prepared statement, and it's going to be the string, because the password will be the string data type. So there's only one string, so there's a single S for the first parameter, and followed by the username. And we're gonna execute the statement, and we're gonna store the selected password into a variable called hashed password, which is the encrypted version that we got from the database table. And we're gonna also check if the user supplied password matches the one in the database after encrypting the user supplied password. So we're gonna check if after encrypting the password supplied by the user with the hashed password is the same as hashed password or not. If it's the same, that means the password supplied matches the one in the database. If not, we'll tell the user that the password doesn't match. So we'll test this at the register. We're gonna register a new user. Before that, I'm gonna clear the database table. So we're gonna register a new user with a password of password. So the user has registered and his password has been encrypted using Blowfish. And now to log in, we're gonna check if the encrypted version of the supplied password from the user is the same as the password in the database. Sorry, this should be login parse. And before we go to this page, we must go to an index page to log in. And this will be login parse. And over here we do test123 and then password. I forgot to include the functions in this page. So test123 and the password will be password, and then the password matches. So I'm gonna echo out the encrypted version of the supplied password to make you understand clearer. So this is the encrypted supply password, and if you look at the database one, it is the same. So what happens if you give a wrong password? The encrypted version of the supply password will not be the same as the one in the database, so the user will fail the login. And if the password matches, that means the user has been authenticated. And what we do is to issue a session ID for the user, so that we can identify the user when he goes to other pages of the forum. So the first thing to basically what a session does is it allows us to create a session for each user and to store variables into the session for this particular user. An example might be a e-commerce site where the user might have a cart to put the items that he want to buy. So if the user is logged in, you issue him a session. Inside the session, he might have a variable called cart, and every time he adds an item to the cart, the cart variable in the session will have a new item. Basically, it allows us to monitor what the user have in the session. So this will be useful when we are trying to identify the user in the forum.